Alright guys, here I am again making another video, and this video that I'm making is this pipe right here. You're wondering why I have chicken wire on there, but the only rational reason one would do this is because I don't know what's going in here at night. Around 3 or 4 in the morning, I always hear some rattling inside this pipe. Something is going in here, whether it's a squirrel, a rat, I don't know what it is, but it makes a lot of noise going up and down every night. So I'm covering it up. I don't know if it's a good idea. By the way, these holes here are 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Yeah, and I don't know if it's a good idea. This is a trial and error type thing, because this is a vent pipe. This is my vent pipe for my house. If if you didn't know, your sewage, from your sink, your toilet, everything, your washing machine, when the water comes down and it goes through the drain and it goes to the city's main drainage line, it all needs to be vented. As the water goes through the pipe, it needs to be vented somehow, so it vents outside of the house, because this has some poisonous gas and some smelly gas, really, that if it weren't vented correctly, it will be going into your attic or into your house, and it would be hazardous and poisonous. Every once in a while you can get a whiff. I believe I just got one right now that's nasty, but it smells like a sewage plant, and you don't want to be breathing that stuff in. Every once in a while you'll see the smoke from, if you got the hot water on, will come on, or some steam coming up through there. But anyway, the problem was that I'm having some kind of intruders going in there somehow, and I'm covering it up. I did the same thing with my roof vent, that little turbine there. I have 2 of those. I have that one, and I have that one there. And another thing you can do to mitigate any problems that you might encounter is these trees that lay on top of your roof are a gateway, and they're access to your house. So you want to make sure these are trimmed back. I trim mine's back occasionally, but as you can see, it has if you don't stay on top of this stuff, it could get pretty old and redundant. It is old. It does get old and redundant, but this one, I believe I trimmed this maybe 3 months ago, and look where it's at now. And again, you also want to do it to prevent this right here, premature failure or damage to your shingles on the edge of the house. And if you can see, you have an exposed nail there. That's a no-no. I'm gonna have to put some bull or some roof tar over that nail. You have another one right there. So yes, when this, in a storm or windy conditions, this tree sways from side to side, and it lifts, it gets under that shingle or just scratches up against it, and it destroys them. I have the same issue on this side of the house, where the tree, I constantly have to trim this one as well. That's the other roof vent. I put some chicken wire around there. That one didn't come out as nice as the other one, but there's a roof vent there. You see this shingle here is damaged. I put some bull on there to cover the holes from the cover the nail heads, and you can see the damage that it causes when you don't have your tree trim. So yes, and if you decide to do that project there, you got to make sure that when you do wire it, it's you have enough room where that can spin. You have to be very vigilant of that. If not, your turbine won't spin, and you won't get any ventilation out of your attic. So going back to this video here, you can see I already cut it. I already cut this, but basically this is the scrap pieces left over. I had some laying around the house. I'm gonna undo this so you guys can see. how my first cut was done. I already did this, but my other phone ran out of batteries. Sorry, you know, it was the memory was full. So what you need is a pair of tin snips like these, some Weiss tin snips, or some Midwest. This is this brand. You need a pair of pliers, lineman pliers. I got some galvanized steel wire like this, so it doesn't rust. It'll rust a little bit, but it'll last a lot longer than regular. And you use this to snip this like that. You might want to wear some gloves as well. But this project won't take too long. But anyhow, if you can see, this is maybe about a 9x9 piece. This pipe here is about 2.5, 3 inches in circumference. And what I did, I got it like this. I folded over. Once I folded that over, I cut here, I cut there, I folded this down, and then when I come around, I'm gonna just fold that like that and bring this real tight around this side, because this bottom right here, you don't want any gaps down there. Again, I don't know, I don't think a rat will squeeze through there, but that's what you want to do. And then you want to repeat the same process on the other side. Okay, once you have that, now you want to go, you're going to cut this side now. This one, is, you see, is nice and tight, goes up against there. You want to cut along this line right here. I mean, if you want to make it look as, you know, aesthetically clean, if you want a clean look, you could take time out to do it right. If not, if you don't care, you could just wing it, whatever. But it's bad enough that this chicken wire is an eyesore. So that's why I'm trying to make it look as pleasing to the eye as possible, which is, well, this stuff is hard to achieve, but so you cut this off. Cut these little things off here. And do the same thing on this side. Because if not, when you start folding this stuff will get in the way. Again, you don't really have to, but I do it for ease. Okay, and when you end up is with a little gap there, but that's fine, because you're gonna fold that anyway. So once you do that, you fold this forward, you fold it down. You could cut this one off right here in the corner. That way you get a tighter turn, and you won't have that squarish look. And you could even snip here and there to get it closer. There, and cut this one right here. That way you can bend that. You see how we got it tight. Bring that around. And I'm gonna have to cut this one here too to get a nice tight wrap. So you're gonna cut here and cut there. And you're gonna cut right here. You're gonna cut these two. I forgot to cut these. I'm gonna cut this. Cut that one. And I think it was that one. We'll see. So you got a little square there and a little square. Cut 2 squares in the corners. 4 squares. Bend this down. Get it tight. Bend that back up against there. Get a tight wrap. Bend this. Get that tight wrap. Around there. And we're gonna go with that. Grab your wire. Feed it through. At this point, you're just gonna pretty much tie wherever you can. Because you want to get, again, you want to draw this tight as possible. That way there's no gaps. And that way it don't slip out. So we're gonna put a couple more ties. Do your little hook thing. Gonna put a tie, put one right here. It's easier to do this with your hand at first, and get it with this. And then finally, what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed this around the side. This corner here, we're gonna try to draw that in. And the way we're gonna do that is right there. We're gonna come through here. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go back in. You don't have to feed. Give yourself enough line, and we're just gonna weave it in and out. And then come back in on the inside. You want to go in on the insides. In on the corners, I mean. You want to go in on the corners. That way you can draw it. Tie it up against the pipe. You can get that right there. So, we went in on this corner. We went on this corner. Then we go out. Then we go in on this corner right here. And what I mean corner, I mean corner of your chicken wire, because as you can see, this is a round pipe, so it's not really. All right, let's go in right here. Let's go in, out, so we can get that wrapping effect. And then let's go in. Let's go in. In and out right here. In and out right there, and then we're gonna tie it right here in the corner. Tie it right there. You gotta be careful with this galvanized wire, because this stuff is pretty fragile. If you tighten it too much, it'll snap on you, and then you got to do the whole thing all over again, which is annoying. But as you tighten, you can see this thing is drawing, and I'm afraid this is gonna snap. So that looks pretty tight right there. Yeah, I don't want to tighten it too much more, because it's feeling like it's gonna snap. But that's pretty much it. That concludes this little project. I'm getting the sides right here like that. And you might want to wear gloves, because this stuff here, this pipe lining, this is lead, and I got, I haven't been touching the pipe directly, but it has lead on it, so you should probably put gloves on. But that's it. That pretty much it is that's pretty much it. Hopefully that'll stop. And that concludes our video of wrapping chicken wire around a vent pipe to prevent rodents or whatever it is that's going in there from going in there. Later.